Creative thinking isn't talent. It's a method. Most people live their entire lives believing creativity is some rare genetic lottery, something quietly decided at birth, something only a lucky few are allowed to access, while everyone else is expected to follow instructions, color inside the lines, and never question the rules. From a young age, we are subtly sorted. Some people are praised for imagination, while others are rewarded for obedience. Over time, that labeling hardens into identity. You start telling yourself a story about who you are, and eventually, that story feels like truth. You either have creativity or you do not. At least, that is what you were taught. But what if that belief is the very thing blocking your potential? What if creativity is not a gift at all, but a process? A repeatable method, a way of thinking that anyone can learn, refine, and use deliberately. The moment you truly understand this, something powerful shifts inside you. Because if creativity is a method, then it is no longer out of reach. It is no longer reserved for artists, inventors, or people with unusual childhoods. It becomes available to anyone willing to slow down, question deeper, and think differently on purpose. Most people imagine creativity as chaos. They picture wild ideas appearing out of nowhere, fueled by inspiration and emotional sparks. They imagine lightning striking the mind, producing brilliance without effort or discipline. That image is comforting because it removes responsibility. If creativity is magic, then failure is not your fault. But real creative thinking looks far quieter than that. It looks like patience. It looks like curiosity. It looks like someone sitting with a problem longer than feels comfortable, refusing to accept the first obvious answer. Creativity is not imagination running wild. It is structured curiosity. It is the discipline of asking better questions than everyone else. It is the ability to look at the same problem everyone sees and notice what everyone else ignores. That ability is not mysterious. It is not rare. It is learned through practice, intention, and repetition. Here is the first truth most people never hear. Creative thinkers do not start with ideas. They start with constraints, limits, rules, boundaries. While others ask, what could this be? Creative thinkers ask, what must this work with? They look at what is fixed, what cannot change, and instead of feeling trapped, they feel challenged. Constraints give the mind something solid to push against. Without them, thinking becomes shallow. With them, thinking becomes sharp. When options are endless, the brain gets lazy. It drifts. It delays. It avoids commitment. Endless possibility feels freeing, but it often leads to paralysis. When options are limited, the brain becomes inventive. It starts searching deeper. It begins combining elements in unexpected ways. This is why some of the most powerful ideas in history came from people with the fewest resources. Pressure forces precision. Limits force creativity. Creative thinking begins by fully understanding the problem, not rushing past it, not trying to solve it too fast, and not trying to escape the discomfort of uncertainty. Most people feel anxious when they do not immediately understand something. They rush to closure. They grab the first answer that reduces tension. Creative thinkers do the opposite. They sit with confusion. They let it breathe. They let it expand. They explore it from multiple angles without demanding resolution. This is where curiosity becomes more powerful than intelligence. Instead of asking, how do I solve this? Creative thinkers ask, why is this hard in the first place? That single question changes everything. Because hidden inside difficulty are assumptions. And assumptions are the invisible walls shaping every problem. Most people never notice them. Creative thinkers hunt for them deliberately. Most problems feel stuck because everyone accepts the same starting point. They agree on what the problem is before questioning whether that definition is even accurate. Creative thinkers challenge the starting point. They ask, what if that assumption is optional? What if the problem is framed incorrectly? What if the real goal is something else entirely? The moment the frame changes, new paths appear. Solutions that were invisible seconds ago suddenly become obvious. Another truth about creativity is that it is not fast. Speed comes later. The early phase feels slow, messy, uncertain, and uncomfortable. That discomfort scares most people away. They interpret uncertainty as failure. Creative thinkers interpret it as progress. They understand that clarity follows exploration, not the other way around. They trust the process even when the outcome is unclear. Creative thinking also requires mental flexibility, the ability to hold multiple ideas in your mind without choosing one too soon. Most people lock onto the first decent idea they encounter. They feel relief and stop thinking. Creative thinkers delay commitment. They explore alternatives longer than feels necessary. That extra exploration is where quality lives. Better ideas often hide just beyond the point where most people give up. There is something surprising about creativity that few people talk about. It often improves when you step away, not when you push harder. Walking, doing something unrelated, letting your attention soften. This is not procrastination. This is incubation. While your conscious mind relaxes, your brain continues working quietly in the background, connecting ideas in ways you cannot force directly. Many breakthroughs happen not at the desk, but away from it. Another essential creative skill is pattern borrowing. Truly creative thinkers rarely invent from nothing. They look outside their field. They study how problems are solved in different industries, disciplines, and environments. They ask, how does this work somewhere else? What patterns repeat across unrelated problems? Innovation often comes from transferring existing solutions into new contexts. Creativity also requires humility, the willingness to say, I do not know yet. That openness keeps the mind flexible. Certainty shuts creativity down. The moment you become attached to being right, you stop exploring. Curiosity keeps creativity alive. The best thinkers remain beginners in their own minds, even as their skill grows. Let us clear up a myth. Creative thinking does not mean being chaotic. It means being playful with structure. It means exploring freely within clear goals. Structure provides direction. Play provides discovery. Together, they produce results. Without structure, ideas drift. Without play, ideas stagnate. If you want to think more creatively in real life, here is what it looks like in practice. You slow down when faced with a problem. You question the assumptions baked into it. You deliberately explore multiple paths instead of committing early. You allow ideas to rest before choosing. You borrow patterns from other domains. This is creativity applied, not imagined. You do not need to become an artist to think creatively. You need to become a better question asker. Creativity grows from questions, not inspiration. Inspiration is unpredictable. Questions are reliable. The quality of your thinking is shaped by the quality of your questions. Creative thinking is not rare, it is suppressed. It is suppressed by speed, pressure, constant urgency, and the fear of being wrong. Remove those forces, and creativity returns naturally. Your mind already knows how to do this. It simply forgot because it was trained to rush answers instead of explore possibilities. You are not bad at creativity. You are trained to prioritize efficiency over depth, to deliver answers instead of insights, to finish quickly instead of thinking deeply. When you slow down, allow uncertainty, and ask better questions, your thinking becomes more original than you ever expected. Creativity is not about being different for the sake of it. It is about seeing what others overlook. It is about refusing to accept default thinking. It is about treating problems as invitations rather than obstacles. Once you understand that creativity is a method, you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for inspiration. You start thinking deliberately. Every time you face a problem, you have a choice. You can react with speed and familiarity, or you can respond with curiosity and structure. One leads to repetition. The other leads to innovation. One keeps you where you are. The other quietly changes the trajectory of your life. The people you admire for their creativity are not fundamentally different from you. They simply practice thinking differently on purpose. They respect the process. They trust the method. And over time, their thinking compounds. This is how creative confidence is built, not through talent, but through repetition. through asking better questions again and again, through staying with problems longer than feels comfortable, through trusting curiosity more than fear. Once you internalize this, creativity stops feeling mysterious. It becomes practical. It becomes accessible. It becomes something you can rely on instead of hope for. And that changes everything. If this helped you rethink creativity in a practical way, subscribe and watch the next video. And if you are serious about getting real results, click the link below and get yours now.